Put the C in the ouch and the ing in the couch, and we got couching with Koel.
We live in dangerous times. No one is immune from terrorism. Not the rich, not even our children, and certainly not free thinkers. We're all responsible to fight that terror, like it or not, whether by wearing uniform or just by living as freely as we can. Neeraj Pandey fulfills his responsibility by doing what he knows best, by making films. But his films are as grey and complicated as terror itself. Baby is no exception. I've seen the film and it makes me wonder whether his films are dividing us further by showing that radical Islam and Pakistan are enemy number one, or uniting us by making us believe that we all have a common enemy. I have the team of Baby here to clarify just that. So let's start with that point itself. Do you feel that your films are especially provocative in dividing us?
I won't like to believe so. Wednesday was not a divisive film. I have not got one single response till date that it had that tone. As storytellers, we feel we are responsible for raising a topic now and then with some of our films which make people very uncomfortable. And in this case, we were pretty clear that terror is terror. Religion or nationality doesn't have to do anything with it. So that was the basic premise of the film. And I think that pretty much we've succeeded in doing so.
So when you make a film like this, I mean, no one's going to argue that really radical Islam and the fundamental elements in Pakistan are enemy number one. No one's going to argue that, right? But when you make a film like this in a country which is so easily inflammable, do you have to think 100 times before you place everything in its, you know, show it as it is?
You are thinking about it all the time when you're doing the script because you don't want to put a wrong step in any direction. We are not crowd pleasers, but at the same time we can't put forward a wrong picture or paint a wrong picture rather. So that we are cognizant of the responsibility that comes hand in hand with a topic like this. And I would like to believe that it's something that we are just discussing between ourselves. There's this Pakistani actor called Rashid Naz in the film who plays Maulana Muhammad Sayyid Rahman. And he said कि आपको बहुत तकलीफ होने वाली है. तो आज हम क्यों ऐसा क्यों लग रहा है आपको? तो बोले देखिए मैं पाकिस्तानी हूँ. मैं अपने पाकिस्तान के खिलाफ कुछ भी बोलूँगा कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है लेकिन आप इंडियन हैं आप अगर हमारे खिलाफ कुछ बोलेंगे तो बहुत प्रॉब्लम है so I'll close it with this anecdote. Yeah.
Now Akshay, you play a special ops or a black ops officer who for the people who haven't seen the film, who goes out there not only risking his life every minute that he steps out but also knows that if things are to go wrong, that he will be disowned by his country, by the establishment. So when you were researching or when you're playing characters like this, and if you actually came across people like this in real life, what does it make you think about our own very selfish lives that we live?
It's very shallow, what life we lead compared to what they lead. I think, first of all, I didn't do any of homework to play this role. I just followed my director. He's been with this screenplay and script since 1.5 years. He's done all the homework. He did the hard job. I just followed it. And me being, I love being the director's actor, and I just followed him. And when it comes to thinking the people who serve the country without any, they're selfless, they are. I think they are the best humans I can come across, and I don't know whether he's met anybody who's like that, a spy kind of guy.
Because it's different from like the armed forces who will become martyrs if they are to die in the line of duty, right? These people will just die anonymous.
Yeah,
and they do.
The
right?
thing is that they operate under the clause of plausible deniability, and that does exist in our times, which effectively means that you just exist as a bank account number.
That's hard,
isn't it?
Right?
It's amazing how these people live their life.
But thank God for such people.
That we all are alive.
That we are all existing. They play a very important role in the security, in our own security. And it happens in every country. And I think there's a particular reference in the film where the chief of agencies says that, the minister says that we look after these people. And he says, no, but they are ready to do that in any case.
But they don't care a damn.
They don't care a damn.
So put your hand on your heart and tell me truly, Akshay, that if suppose you were called upon, and don't say it just for patriotic reasons and stuff, if you were called upon to do something like this where you know that if it is not successful, you will be forgotten and left. You're on your own, you'll be in no man's territory. Would you do something like this?
See, my background is my father was in army. So I have this army blood within me. And I love these kind of roles. And I was very confident that, see, I came in this line, it was just a coincidence. Otherwise, I was going to enter into Navy. I was going to be there. And I had my full plans and all. But as destiny would go, I was pushed this side. And then I saw some, I thought that this line would be also good. Let me try my luck. And ek ke baad ek cheez, it just kept on falling properly and I came into this. But I wouldn't have thought about it even twice to get into this spy's boot or an special agent's boot.
You think you would have done it?
No, I would have done that.
Another thing about this officer is that you can't, if you do a role like this in real life, I mean, if you are this person, you have no other life. Like, you cannot have a family life. The family life suffers. You cannot do anything but this. The wife in this movie is an amazingly understanding wife, right? In real life.
In real life also, the army people's wife, you know, 3-3, 4-4 mahine ke liye husband chala jata. You have to be understanding. You have to understand it.
That's where I think the love comes in.
That's where the sacrifice
and it's not
comes
necessarily happens only in movies. I think that happens as what about parents who send their 19-year-old child to front? They come first, and look, and I get completely moved and amazed by when unfortunately there's a martyr whose body comes and how the parents restrict themselves from showing even grief. They can't even show grief. What actually happens to them?
Or going on camera and venting and saying that, you know, how did our son... Yeah,
yesterday we had that Mumbai police show.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of police people sitting next to me. And their wives were sitting with them. This looks like our life only. I could feel this thing that this is happening with them also.
That they have to sacrifice.
They have to go, they have to go. I love the line, especially that is my favorite line in the film. I tell you guys, you're going to watch the film so you'll realize it more. That I go for work, but my wife, who's playing in the film, doesn't know that what job I do. She knows something is there, something he does a little bit dangerous, but I keep on saying, "Main conference mein hu."
But every time you leave the house, she hugs you like it's going to be the last time she'll see you.
Because she
right?
knows,
she knows that he might not come back.
And I love that line where she says, "Bas marna mat." Whatever you do, just marna mat, bas. So बड़े अच्छी तरह इन्होंने लिखी है line वो बड़े 2 शब्दों के अंदर he's just made it, you know, understand. बस मरना मत.
You know, but that's you know that the fact that you're asking this question, this is the tragedy of our country, that we do not really appreciate or really admire that our awareness level is so low that we do not think it's become just वर्दी में है, हाँ देश की रक्षा करता होगा. But what he actually does, what the army guy does, what the navy guy does, what the air force people or police or BSF or all these people do is far more superior than any one of us sitting here do at any time.
And I want to come back and talk about this whole accuracy of how much do we know and how much, you know, there is to know. But before that, just bringing it on another note, you guys as actors and filmmakers also lead this kind of life where you leave your wives, where especially when you're trying to make it, you are long outdoors away from your family. You cannot concentrate on your family. Are your wives, especially Twinkle and Kiranji, are they as understanding as the wife on
My darling,
screen?
I think you don't know about this, that our producers allow us to bring our family along.
And we are staying in a
And so we are
hotel.
lucky.
They have
So
a
don't
car.
compare us with the army people. They are leading a very deadly life. We are told, भाभी जी आएंगी, बच्चे बच्चे आएंगे, हाँ जी हाँ जी
Shopping के लिए पैसे देंगे.
शॉपिंग के लिए इतना नहीं.
Bhushan ji, what are you doing? शॉपिंग के लिए पैसे नहीं देते? What the hell? कुछ आप बोल सकते हैं।
लोन देते हैं,
हैंड लोन देते हैं। और मुझे ये सोच रहे हैं कि मेरी अगली फिल्म में भी अक्षय कुमार है, मैं इस बात का क्या जवाब दूं?
Bringing it back to the film, there's a clap-worthy scene, a line in the film, which one of you can say, which is the line where this terrorist character says, he tells an anecdote, and then he says, I fill this column proudly in bold capital letters as Muslim. And Akshay says, he tells an anecdote, and he says, I fill this in bold and capital letters as Indian.
I think it's a reality, whether it's unfortunately, whether it's a terrorist attack in Sydney, or the terrorist attack in Peshawar on 145 children being killed. Means you can't be brutal than that. I don't think terrorism has any religion. I don't think so. Unfortunately, there is a sequence, wherever it is happening, it has, but there's something beautiful lines. Every terrorist may be a Muslim, but every Muslim is not a terrorist.
Yes.
Yeah, so there are amazing people. We have our, the Vice President, and why should we even give an example of that? I think there is a great amount of humanity in people. If you are looking it from that point of view, that why is so and so a Muslim, then there is a sequence where he talks about the Gujarat riots. How bravely a filmmaker and how proud of Censor Board to have passed that kind of, otherwise within the circumstances today, he would have not been able to tell that incident where he saved the family of Muslims and he fought and killed 7 Hindu radicals. So I think that to give it a flavor of that, I think is a little unfair to the film.
You see, but as a viewer, I can only say what came to me.
I know, but
so that is what came to me, and it made me feel that, okay, this is a very important film. He's saying it as it is, because it is in the name of Islam that most people, in the name of Islam that most people are picking up the guns and fighting and taking on terror. And he's showing it as it is, but it's a dangerous position to
Makes
take.
You uncomfortable. That's the problem.
Yeah. So the thing is that I think in this generation that in times that we are living in, we should be more than willing to discuss these situations. We should be ready to talk, or else we are heading in a very, very wrong direction. That's my opinion on it.
A Baby, a film about terrorism and counter-terrorism. Now, how much, when you did all the research for this film, you didn't, but the filmmakers did the research for this film. He did the research, Neeraj did the research for the film. How many such ops did you come across that all of us have no idea about, that exist, that are unnamed, that are keeping us safe, that there must be 1,000 threats that are constantly being thwarted that we don't even know about?
Yeah, true. And I had a tough time because very little of it is in public domain. So I had to read up a lot in terms of global terrorism and how certain countries have stepped up measures to counter it. And therein we have a lot more data than what we have in our Indian forces and all that. So it's a mix of both the situations, and then we have the nudge of fiction, and then we have the script.
How accurate are, how much poetic license can you take in a film like this?
The scripting of this film started about a year and a half back. I had no clue about the ISIS then. I had no clue about what's happening in Mumbai right now. I had no clue about the Bangalore techie for that matter. So all these things are there. I mean, it's just that you have to look closely and you'll find that yes, it's rooted in reality.
He wrote it, what he's saying is he wrote it 1.5 years back, and the things which have occurred now is actually he had written it and we had picturized it long back.
So it's like
very
almost
cool.
prophetic.
There are about say 2,
Because
3.
it was happening at that level also, but it was not coming out in the open maybe.
So something that surprises me and will surprise you people, and this is why I wanted to know whether it's based on fact or a lot of it is, these operations seem a bit ad hoc, amateurish, or the word that you can use, improvised, almost stuck together with sellotape, you know, and you're on a wing and a prayer and somehow you get through, or sometimes you don't. Like one of the first, without revealing too much, the first operation is a not so successful. Is this based on fact? Because if this is how it is, it's a bit scary for us to know that
But that's exactly the way it happens. You won't, there's so much of it's not as polished as a James Bond film, let me tell you this way.
Yeah.
I mean, real life is not as polished as that people walk in, there's action happening in London Tube and stuff like that. It doesn't work that way out. It's actually taped the way...
because like in key moments, the car doesn't work. Then an agent is making like a call to another agent in a sensitive moment.
Yeah,
which
it's
you
like
think,
Murphy's
why
Law.
is he calling her? You stupid, like you can't right now. Like, so there are moments where you're thinking, is this how it actually happens? Like, are
This
these
is
the
one thing is proven today, that the film has really been loved by her. it's because she is so much into it. And I'm very proud to be part of a film like this, which sort of makes us feel, makes us think, makes us so passionate about cinema.
No, let's go into the situation what she said. What would you do if you were that person and your car is not working and your other partner who's already gone? How would you contact?
Firstly, if I was in that situation...
You would let, suppose if you're a man and that girl was there, you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Will you let her go?
Of course
and not. Worried about her?
This is what I'm saying, that as an officer of a trained secret operation, I believe I must have got like tons of training, and I'm doing a particular operation, I would have got backups and checks. Like even if this kind of thing, if this camera is not working, in 1 second I have a second camera that can come.
But that 1 second is what we are talking about.
But
we got delayed by 2 minutes.
Why is your car not working?
We got delayed by 2 minutes on your show.
Why is your car not working?
It's not working. And 1 second, you know, we sat here for half an hour. Why wasn't your cameras working?
We have to get...
We all sat here. मेरी चाय ठंडी हो गई तब तक शुरू नहीं हुआ.
I'm not a special ops. I'm not a special ops person, but this is my point, that if it actually happens, there's so much room for human error in even places
That's
like
what it
this.
is. It's human
that
error.
it's very scary.
It is.
That's why it's so dangerous also, right?
Right.
That's what makes it so dangerous.
If you see, there was a line where he says कि क्या कितना percentage लगता है आप ये काम कर लोगे? बोला 5% लगते हैं. लेकिन it's good enough.
I go on
मैं तो 1% में भी जाता हूँ. So, and that is the real fact. That is the real fact. They go on missions where they know कि 99% they are going to die and come.
Is it because it's a Bhushan Kumar film and with T-series that the film ends on a particular note, I don't want to ruin it for any of you, it ends on a particular serious note, jubilant serious note, and then it has an item song in the end. Why?
It doesn't have an item song. We don't.
It has a song in the credits.
It's a promo
It's not
song.
an item song.
It's a promo song which we use to promote the film.
It is exactly like a Bond film. Now the song comes. Okay, would you call that an item song?
Yes.
Okay, then this is an item song.
No, it's a narrative song, I think.
Yeah.
Which is
It's also
giving the
promotional
narrative
song.
of
It's if you hear the words beparwa. These people are beparwa. They care a damn.
Yeah, but you got a sexy babe in a sexy outfit, and it seems a bit, I have to say it,
So
it seems a bit
किससे करवाऊं?
incongruous. It seems a bit incongruous after what we've just seen happen. That suddenly you go into
We
this.
also are telling the movie's gotten over. Now, relax. Life is not so horrible. Things can be better. I don't think it's. I think I just see it as a entitled role.
Okay, on that note, we're going to open it up for 1 or 2 questions.
My question is to you, Neeraj. My name is Captain Vikas. Let me give my brief to you. I'm ex-Army Special Forces officer. What you've spoken, I've already gone through it. I've eliminated almost 100 of militants, snaked inside Pakistan, lost almost 35 men. My question to you is that why don't we do research like we see in Hollywood movies, Enemy at the Gates, American Sniper, Saving Private Ryan, Bridge at the River, Koel and all. They go into such lands to do research before making a film. We just get into masala and then we come to, summing up the film. Why don't we do the research? Why the essence goes?
Have you
No,
seen
I just said that I will go and watch the movie.
You'll go and watch the film.
Yes, I'm certainly going to.
I can't speak for others, but in my understanding, please have a seat.
Thank you.
I can't speak for others as to why they don't do research, but possibly one of the reasons is कि उसमें मेहनत लगती है और समय लगता है, and unfortunately in our industry it is lacking.
And we've gotten away with it.
And we've gotten away with it so far. So that, in my opinion, is the answer. But I believe that with our film, we've taken time out and we've taken the labor to sort of put things in the right perspective, we had an IPS as a consultant on the film, so that we get, now the Akshay's character is using a Glock 17, so he's using a Glock 17. So we got into stuff like that where we know that we don't want to just irresponsibly tell a story.
Thank you so much for touching such a sensitive subject. I would like to ask, इतना sensitive subject है, तो आपने ये baby name क्यों choose किया?
Baby is actually a code word for a black op covert team, and it's on a trial run for 5 years. चूंकि सिर्फ 5 साल के ट्रायल रन पे एक प्रोग्राम है जो कि whose destiny is going to be decided after its run of 5 years. That's the reason the members of that particular team, they refer to each other as baby.
But were you ever scared that, or skeptical that when you see the movie it makes perfect sense, but were you scared that by naming it baby for the audience like this, they might think it's something different than what it is?
Part 2 of Hey Baby.
Yeah, maybe.
No, we were sure that
I see that humor could not be moved out from this film. I see that now.
No, I feel that all sources of communication through other, the poster does not look like as if it's his look is not that often. It's not. It could have been called Hindustan ki Kasam also. You see, ya tujhe nahi chodunga. But I think the people behind the film, a man's earlier record of the kind of movies that he has made, I think it's important that he knew what he was doing, and the audience believes you somehow.
Thank you for coming and speaking to us.